Bienvenidos, worldwide fans of the planet's hottest entertainment with an edge. You got Jaime En Fuego here for more of the Phoenix Film Festival coverage, which has been such a rad status opportunity, a pleasure, a blessing, a humbling honor to be able to cover this. And yeah, y'all, I gotta say, this was a film that I was not initially anticipating watching. The film that we had planned on watching initially in this particular slot was called Geek and You Shall Find, and the tickets were sold out. So I just, on a whim, which is the fun thing about this sort of festival coverage and the great thing about the Phoenix Film Festival, and you know, the whole mantra is you know, find your new favorite movie. And this wasn't like a favorite movie, but it was one of my favorites of the festival, and that's a little film that was a labor of love. Took many years for them to finally get this together, called Off the Rails. Yeah, Off the Rails is a period piece, kind of you know, coming of age story of sorts, which I have an affinity for these. I love stuff like Dazed and Confused and Outside Providence, and that's the vibe that this film totally gave me. It takes place in Florida. It's the early 1970s, and yeah, basically these dudes are doing restaurant work, and they get tapped to open their own bar by somebody who is either affiliated or owns or whatever the place that they're initially at when we first meet them. And it's basically just three burnout roommates. You've got the goofy one, you've got the little Napoleon complex one, you know, who's like the idea guy, and then you've got the handsome dude who's like slaying chicks and stuff like that. So, but you know, there's a really just fun, expansive cast in this. You know, they have this poet lesbian who is a friend of theirs. She is super fun. She describes herself as sapphic at one particular point, and I just couldn't help but laugh at that. And then there's obviously you know, the guy who is the money behind the operation and just gives them the spot to transform into this bar that they end up calling Off the Rails. It's near these train tracks, and so, you know, that's hence the name. It kind of makes sense, but it's really just, it's a fun little movie, man. You know, I had a blast with it. I was laughing constantly because it's really just like misadventure after misadventure. A lot of the framing devices are them trying to think of different specials on different nights for the bar. So, you know, like, let's think of something for Friday, and then let's do football on Monday, and let's have a ladies' night, and so on and so forth. And really, it's a very simple framing structure, but the laughs are there. The chemistry amongst the cast is really there, and I feel like without that, you know, without good performances and without a strong script with like legit laughs, this film would, you know, sink into the Florida Sea, you know, very quickly. And you know, because of that, it did not. And it really is, you know, they start out all as like super close homies, and then, you know, one gets you know, just a little on the greedy side, and then one falls in love, and you know, one gets a girl pregnant. And I mean, it's a lot of your standard tropes, but I almost even hesitate to use a word like tropes because of the sheer fact that it's like legit things that happen in life to everybody. So how is that a trope when it's just like universal and, you know, realistic and something that a lot of people can relate to, you know? And yeah, there's some ups and downs, but there's never really, it's a very light film, you know, there's never really any like massive stakes to it or anything of that nature. And you know, as somebody who watched a lot of very serious films that, you know, just don't think their crap stinks sort of thing, this was a really nice bit of alternate programming, I must say, in the fact that it was just sheer bliss. I had so much fun with this movie, man, and there's not really a lot else that I can say without, you know, spoiling things or whatnot. And these are all Rapido Fuego reviews, you know, so I'm not doing Bueno, Malo, or Feo for any of these festival features. I'm just basically giving it a rating and saying how I felt about it as a member of press. Yeah. So yeah, Off the Rails, I am really hopeful that it gets some sort of proper, you know, distinction and release, because I had a ton of fun with it, and it was a personal favorite of the festival. So I have been Jaime En Fuego. You can find me on all social media sectors like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, obviously here on YouTube where you're scoping out this video if you happen to come across it. Lots of fun coverage from this festival. Also earlier this year, I reviewed all 8 of the Best Picture nominations from the Oscars, Star Wars coverage, you know, doing one film a month, going all the way up to episode 9, and of course I did an episode 9 trailer reaction, even though I'm not like all all on the trailer reaction train. But for the bigger, more pertinent stuff, yeah, I make the exception. And then there's another, oh boy, yeah, there's another Star Wars trailer reaction I did on my other channel, The Horror Show, which, call it like you see it. It was fun though. So yes, the Horror Show is where I spend the predominance of my YouTube and time. And yeah, trailer reactions, film reviews, convention coverage, all kinds of coolness, at least a couple episodes a day. So yeah, everybody, I'm gonna give, honestly, I'm gonna give Off the Rails 4 out of 5. This is a Fuego film. I love the hell out of it. It's not gonna be for everybody, you know, it's a little bit silly. I still remember an ex-girlfriend who was like, God, why do you love these coming of age films so much? I love them. You know? It's your formative years, man, and it's you know, it's I feel like there's a lot of importance to covering that well, and just with charm and wit and just yeah, proper exuberance. So I guess until the film reel of Kahaha comes around once more, I shall say hasta luego, cinemigos, but I am hopeful that we get to reconnect sooner rather than later. Peace.